Man, this the truth between the beef between 50 Cent, Bang Em Smurf. Now, quite sure you know by now, Bang Em Smurf is somewhere overseas, deported, and I don't even know if he's from there. but he's deported for being insubordinate and basically, you know, now all he does is put out these crazy interviews from like 10 years ago, and it's wild. All the stuff he come up with, because in one video he talking about, oh, I love 50. 50 was a righteous dude. Then I should have let people kill 50. You know, it's like what? Wow. But let's go back to the beginning. See, when Bang Em Smurf was a 13-year-old dude, he was all on the jock of the Lost Boys. You know, Cheeks and all them dudes, you know, like, man, that's what they wanted to be. They wanted to be like the Lost Boys. Man, they got all this money. They hustling. They getting it. He was all up under them. All of them. All y'all little dudes was all up under the Lost Boys. Rolling behind them. Onyx had this big concert. And all of them was so excited because they got a chance to go backstage, you know, and kick it with Onyx now. Like, oh man, Onyx and them, man, Onyx. And that's when 50 and Fredro, like, they first met, really. 50 had just, I think he was about maybe 17. You know what I'm saying, at the time. And he met 50 and all these dudes, and 50 didn't really get along with Cheeks and them like that. He didn't really look up to them like they were God. And, you know, he kind of wanted to be in that position. But people like, oh no, he was looking, man, he hated Cheeks. It was a more of a, I want to get in that position type thing more than a, I hate him type of thing. And people just took that the wrong way. But it is what it is. It's the hood. So, anyway, the situation happens with the Lost Boys, where that situation dissipates, and 50 start coming up in the game. And they making these records out the house. And then 50 hustling and all the stuff he got going on, you know, and his mixtapes and stuff. So he's making his own self hot with Ghetto Quran and all them stuff, the buzz. All these things he's doing in the hood, plus hustling. You know, he coming up, and now he brought Yayo with him, who really from DC. And he got Yayo with him, and he got Banks. Because Banks is spitting like a mug before he got with G-Unit. And so now he was like, okay, this the clique here. Yeah, we gel real well together. And then they saw Young Buck later on. But when they was making the mixtape, it was just 50, Yayo, and Banks. Them three. Well, Yayo really was like the hype man because he had the voice. Now, this is after all that. He was supposed to go to Nostradamus. Power of the Dollar didn't work out because of what happened with Tone and Pogue and that situation with the payola with Ja and all that stuff. If you want to know all about that, go ahead and watch those Truth Behind videos. We got them on file, so don't even worry about that. So that situation blew over. Now it's the unit's time. So if you see why I'm speeding through all that stuff, because I've already discussed it and y'all know it. So now we in the units time. Units getting ready to come in and blow up. So Smurf, you know, doing what he does, get the G Unit tat. He's G Unit soldier all the way. He the one with the guns. You know, he's the crazy guy that's always with 50. And he was his right hand man. On the video shoots, he right there. Stashing pistols, holding pistols. I got him, son. You know, that was him. Then all of a sudden, you know, situation went left. They on tour, album blowing up, Get Rich or Die Trying. So he had a deal where it was a part of a promotional company that 50 had, in which it just got started in G Unit. And I think G Unit, they had, the deal was like, I don't know, a little bit over $1 million or whatever, but he put Smurf in there, gave him a piece of that so he would have something. But the net worth at the time of the deal, it was worth $1.3 million. So what Smurf did was do what wild dudes do on tour. They fight. So they on the tour bus. He mad because somebody that took a coat. One of the guys who's 50's road manager, Marcus, he was like, look, man, somebody stole his like starter jersey or something. And the guy did steal it. One of, you know, Bang Em Smurf guys, and he was like, dude wanted to go one-on-one with him. Marcus and Bang Em Smurf wouldn't allow it to go down. Like, dog, ain't gonna be no one-on-ones, dog. You hit my little man's, dog, I'm gonna have to jump in. And then they got into words. He's like, you a bitch ass dude for that. And then Smurf tried to snuff him. And then they got into a fight. So they stopped the bus. 50 found out what was going on and was like pissed and was like, y'all all going home. Y'all going home because y'all putting us in danger. So you gotta go, and you gotta go. So Fifth sent all them dudes home from the tour. So he was cut off. There was no money, no nothing coming through. So he's sitting at home broke, trying to figure out what went wrong. So he called Fifth, like, man, I ain't got no money, I ain't got nothing. And he's like, man, Fifth, man, I need some money, man. He's like, I'll tell you what you do right now. If you go ahead and sign over to the company, but this is later on, so I'm going too fast. He's sitting at home broke. So he back trying to put domination on with the little money he had before he went completely broke. He's putting all his money into domination because he finna make domination hot so that 50 don't want to sign him now. Because domination was around through the whole G Unit. They all in the videos. But domination normally just freestyle. You know, he ain't never really put nothing on wax. So he want to put something down so that Fifth can hear it. Be like, yeah, I'm back. Fifth, look what I did. I've been working. Domination, I'm cracking. Let's get them out there, man. We back on tour. We back on this thing. The hood bouncing. So he putting all this in the domination. And then all of a sudden, bam. You know, he goes to jail. And then he was like, oh, well, Fifth gonna bail me out. No. Fifth ain't finna bail you out. And then he called Fifth like, man, come get me out. Fifth like, I ain't got nothing to do with me. You went and did something for somebody else, and you want me to pay for that? No. Well, what I look like paying for that? You weren't doing G Unit business. You doing some old domination business. That ain't got nothing to do with us. So naturally, Fifth like, I ain't bailing you out. So he was, oh, son, you leave me in here to die, man. Yo, man, you know, hood stuff. So what he did was, he went ahead and I'm sorry. He went ahead and got bailed out by his uncle. See, Smurf uncle was a hustler. So Smurf uncle like put up one of his shops and got him out. So he home. And when he get home, that's when he, man, Fifth left me in there to die, Joe. He left me in there to die. So Fifth told him, look, man, you want some money? Here, the company that's worth 1.3 or whatever. He's like, look, if you want to sign your percentage back in, you can get $10,000. If you just sign the paperwork. He signed the paperwork. Sent that back in. He sent Smurf $10,000. The company's worth 1.3, so he left 1.2 on the table. But the company's worth way more than that. His end was about 1.3 million in the deal. He forfeited the 1.2 back to the company. So 1.2 million going back to the company that he was a part of just for $10,000. And he really mad because 50 Cent didn't pick up Domination. He's like, nah, you gonna do your own thing. You go do that. Don't worry about it. I don't want Domination. So when 50 didn't want Domination and was putting all this power behind the G-Unit brand, and they finna put out a G-Unit album with no Domination on it, and they ain't trying to put him out next, he's now finna put out Banks. And now Banks is the guy that's coming out, and he worried about what he got them 3 days. He's gonna put out Banks and put out Tony. Just like that. So Young Buck got picked up, and he was like, man, just forget us, your boys. We protected you in the streets, and you don't even want to put us on. So they took another avenue, and that led to another beef. And we'll talk about that later. But that's how the beef started with Bang Em Smurf and 50 Cent. That's how it's all laid out. That's what it's all about. And to this day, when Smurf ended up going to jail, doing 3 years for that charge, once he got out, he was deported. But while he was there, he kept continuously. Now I guess somebody keeps interviewing him wherever he is in the world, and he keeps talking about 50 Cent and what 50 did back then, what 50 did, every interview. So you can see he's still attached to the situation emotionally. Like there's no growth. Like I got a friend right now who does the same type of lit over and over again. He sits there and blames everybody else about his position. Yet and still, he's been doing this and been in the same boat for the last 10 years. And I'm like, dog, it's been 10 years. Because I'm like, man, I remember him talking about this same thing back in like 05. Like, didn't he say this in 06, in 07? Like, didn't he have the same problem? Oh, yeah, man, I'm trying to get on, man. I'm trying to do this, man. Yeah, it's just been rough out here, man. I'm doing that. I'm still trying to get them to fight this kid. This case is about 10 years old. How many more continuations can you get, homie? 10 years? It's like, come on. Either you BSing or they BSing. But one thing going on. If you ain't pulling your weight, something gonna happen. But it's funny to me. The reason why the problem exists and the reason why it's been 10 years is simple. The person don't want to do nothing for themselves. They want somebody to knock on their door and say, "Here's a check, man. Just for keeping it real." Yeah. That's the problem. That's what these dudes want, a handout. And they expect you, man, pull them out the hood. But back to Smurf. He was MMG at the G Unit, right? Well, let's go back, right? He was with the Lost Boys. Then he was G Unit. Got all tatted up, right? Then he's Domination. Then he's MMG. And then he put the tat of the Coke Boys on his face. On his face. That's all you need to know about Bang Em Smurf. I'm out.